The vastness of space has always held secrets, some beautiful, some terrifying. But what if the greatest secret wasn't about distant stars or alien worlds, but about one of our own? Sunita Williams, a name etched into the history of space exploration, a woman who spent months orbiting Earth, commanding the International Space Station with a quiet strength that inspired millions. She was a pioneer, a hero. But heroes don't always come home the way we expect. There's a shadow over her story, a whisper that something went wrong up there, something NASA doesn't want you to know. What really happened to Sunita Williams during her time in the void? What did they hide about her doom? This isn't just a tale of science gone awry. It's a descent into the unknown, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. Buckle up, this is only the beginning. Sunita Williams launched into space for the second time on July 15, 2006, aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery. She was 41 years old, a naval officer turned astronaut with a grin that could light up mission control. Her mission was clear: spend 6 months aboard the International Space Station, conducting experiments, maintaining the outpost, and pushing the boundaries of human endurance. She was no stranger to the risks. Space is a hostile place, a vacuum that doesn't forgive mistakes. But Sunita thrived up there. She ran the first marathon in orbit, tethered to a treadmill with bungee cords, her determination beaming back to Earth through grainy video feeds. For 195 days, she was a star, literally and figuratively. Then, on January 27, 2007, she returned. Or so we were told. The official story is clean, almost too clean. NASA said her mission went off without a hitch. She landed in Kazakhstan, stepped out of the Soyuz capsule, and waved to the cameras, her face pale but smiling. Routine debriefings followed, and she went back to her life, training, speaking, inspiring. But there's a crack in that narrative, a faint tremor that grows louder the closer you look. It starts with the footage. Watch the landing again, really watch it. Her eyes don't match the smile. They're wide, darting, like she's searching for something in the crowd. Her hands tremble as she grips the railing, subtle enough to miss unless you're paying attention. NASA brushed it off. Exhaustion, they said. 6 months in zero gravity takes a toll. But what if it wasn't just exhaustion? What if she brought something back with her? The first clue came from the data logs, thousands of pages of telemetry, comms transcripts, and sensor readings from the ISS. Most of it's public, buried in NASA's archives for anyone with the patience to dig. But there's a gap. On December 19, 2006, about a month before her return, the station's external cameras went dark for 47 minutes. No explanation, no glitch report, just silence. The internal logs from that day are vaguer than usual, too. Sunita's entries mention routine maintenance near the station's solar arrays, but the details are sparse. She was out there, tethered to the hull, alone in the blackness, when the cameras cut out. What did she see? What did she do? NASA says it was a power fluctuation, a minor hiccup. But 47 minutes is no hiccup, it's an eternity in space. Then there's the audio. A fragment leaked years later, buried in a whistleblower's dump of unclassified files. It's grainy, distorted, but it's her voice, Sunita's, crackling through the static. It's out there, she says, her breath ragged. It's watching us. Mission Control responds with confusion, asking her to clarify. She doesn't. The line goes dead seconds later. NASA claims it's a hoax, a fabrication spliced together by conspiracy nuts. But the timestamp matches, December 19, 2006, right in that 47-minute window. If it's fake, it's a damn good one. If it's real, it's the first thread in a tapestry of dread. Back on Earth, Sunita wasn't the same. Colleagues noticed it first, little things, like how she'd stare out windows for too long, her fingers tapping rhythms no one could place. She stopped running marathons. She stopped smiling as much. In interviews, she dodged questions about that mission, her answers clipped, rehearsed. It was a great experience, she'd say, her voice flat. I'm proud to have been part of it. But her eyes told a different story, haunted, hollow, like she'd seen something she couldn't unsee. Her family stayed quiet, too, deflecting reporters with polite shrugs. NASA kept her busy, shuffled her into training roles, away from the spotlight. It was subtle, calculated. They didn't want her talking. The real bombshell came in 2011, buried in a declassified report on ISS radiation levels. During Sunita's mission, sensors detected a spike, anomalous gamma rays, brief but intense, originating from outside the station. The report calls it unexplained, likely cosmic background noise. But the timing lines up, December 19 again. Gamma rays don't just appear like that, not in bursts that precise. Something triggered it, something close. Astrophysicists speculate it could have been a microflare from the sun, but the sun was quiet that day. Others whisper about darker possibilities, a pulsar's death throes, or something artificial, something alive. Sunita was out there when it happened. Did she see the source? Her medical records, partially redacted, hint at more. Post-mission scans showed elevated cortisol, stress hormones, way beyond normal re-entry levels. Her sleep patterns were erratic, plagued by nightmares she wouldn't describe. A psych eval, leaked by an anonymous source, mentions recurrent visions and unresolved trauma. NASA chalked it up to isolation, the psychological strain of space. But isolation doesn't leave you scanning the sky every night, doesn't make you flinch at shadows. Something broke in her up there, and they buried it. The deeper you dig, the murkier it gets. A maintenance log from the ISS, filed after her return, notes damage to an external panel, scratches, irregular, like something clawed at it. Not micrometeorites, not space junk, too deliberate, too deep. The report dismisses it as environmental wear, but the photos, grainy and overexposed, tell a different story. They look like marks that don't belong. Sunita never mentioned it. No one asked her to. By then, she was back on Earth, locked in a silence that felt less like recovery and more like containment. This is where the story fractures. NASA's version ends with a successful mission, a hero's return. But the pieces don't fit, 47 minutes of darkness, a voice in the void, scratches on steel. What did Sunita Williams encounter out there? Was it a trick of the mind, a cosmic fluke, or something worse, something that followed her home? This is only the first thread. The truth is still out there, hidden in the stars, waiting to be unraveled. And it's darker than you think. So what do you make of this? A woman who touched the edge of the unknown and came back changed, or didn't come back at all? Drop your thoughts below, because this is just the start. Part 2's coming, and it's going to pull back the curtain even further. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, we're going deeper into the abyss together.